Charlie C. McAvoy back to read you the conclusion of My Little Pony, The Legend of the Humacorn, Volume 1. And it's part 4, chapters through 13 to 16, which is the conclusion of this volume. And I'm going to read you right now, and I hope you enjoy it. Chapter 13, Road to Bridlewood Forest. Charlie stopped Tempest's shadow and said, "Tempest, wait! I have something that belongs to you." Charlie took out Tempest Shadow's broken horn out of his pocket and showed it to her. Tempest Shadow looked surprised and said, "Is that my horn?" Charlie said, "Yes, I found it in the Storm Queen's..." Let me say again. Charlie said, "Yes, I found it in the Storm Queen's room, back at her castle." Tempest said, So she found it before she found me, while she was the Storm King? So that's why she's been using me." Grubber said, "Well, look at the bright side, Tempest. If Charlie attaches your horn back on your head, you won't be a broken unicorn anymore." Tempest said, "I still have my magic, Grubber." Grubber said, "Yeah, but powerful." Charlie turned to Starlight Glimmer and said, "Starlight, will your magic fix Tempest's horn?" Starlight said, "I guess so." Charlie said, "Well, let's see if it works." Excuse me. While Charlie was about to put the broken horn on Tempest's shadow, she stopped his hand with her hoof. Tempest said, "Not yet. Wait until we get to Zephyr Heights." Charlie looked confused and said, "Why?" Tempest Shadow looked a little bit nervous and said, "Well, it's just I don't want the Storm Queen to know I have my horn back yet." Charlie realized what Tempest Shadow was talking about. He said, "Oh, I get it. You wanted to surprise her at the right moment. All right, I'll look after it for you." Charlie put Tempest Shadow's broken horn back in his pocket and turned to his friends, his cousin, and his dad. He said, "Well, everyone and every pony, since Kappa, Captain Solana, and her crew are enhancing their airship, we're walking to Bridlewood Forest to secure the Sun and Moon amulet." Charlie grabbed his equestrian sword and turned to Princess Celestia. He said, "You coming, Celestia?" Celestia said, "I'm afraid not, Charlie. I need to be in Bridlewood." Celestia said, "I'm afraid not, Charlie. I need to be in Maritime Bay to help every pony who needs me." Luna said, "I'll go with you, Charlie. Bridlewood needs my protection." Charlie smiled at Princess Luna and turned to his friends and family. He said, "Oh, right, let's go." Charlie said, "Hey, Charlie, why don't we take a shortcut?" That's what Starlight said. But Charlie said, "A shortcut? What kind of shortcut?" Starlight said, "Watch." A light purple rainbow came out of Starlight Glimmer's horn, then it surrounded her and her friends except Princess Celestia. Full stop. After they disappeared, Princess Celestia smiled and said, "Good luck, Charlie." Location, Maritime Wood. I made that up. I don't know what it's really called. Charlie and his friends and family magically appeared outside of the pink bubble shield where Maritime Bay is. Everyone turned around and looked at the shield. Hitch, Trailblazer said, "We're outside the shield." Starlight Glimmer turned to Starlight Glimmer and said, "Starlight, why didn't your magic take us to Bridlewood?" Starlight said, "Sorry, Skystar. I think you can only take us out of the shield for now." Grubber said, "So we're going to have to walk the rest of the way?" Then he moaned, we're not, you're not," and he moaned, "Oh, you're not making this easy for me, Starlight." Charlie walked to the shield, went through and out. Charlie walked to the shield, went through and out to the other side. Charlie walked up to his friends and family and said, "It turns out that shield is safe for us to get in." Charlie said, "It turns out the shield is safe for us to get in and out." Celestia was right. Luna says, I knew she was. Charlie turned to Sunny Starscale and said, Sonny, where are we? How do we get to Bridlewood? Sorry. He said, Sonny, where are we? And how do we get to Bridlewood? Sonny Starscream took out a map from her satchel and studied it. She said, according to the map, we're in Maritime World, so we need to follow that path over there. Then we get to the sign saying. When we get to the sign that says Bridlewood World, it will lead us to the forest. His trailblazer took a good look at the map that Sonny Starscream was holding. It said, "You better look after the map, Sonny. That's the only one we have." Luna said, "Don't worry, Hitch. We already have a backup." Hitch trailblazer looked confused and said, "What backup?" Princess Luna turned to Charlie and said, "Charlie, check your phone." Charlie took his smartphone out of his pocket and spotted a new app on it. He said, "Equestrian map? Sorry, Equestria map?" Charlie pressed the app and the map appeared on it. Yeah. Charlie pressed the app and the map appeared on it with 6 cutie marks, 1 human mark, 1 Humacorn mark, hedgehog mark, and 1 hippogriff mark. Hippogriff mark. Charlie looked surprised and said, "It's a map of Equestria, and all those cutie marks and the other marks are us." Charlie looked at Princess Luna and said, "Luna, how did this app appear on my phone?" Luna said, While you were settling down in our mansion back in your world, Celestia and I created an app that was the map of our world with our magic. Then we put it on your phone and your dad's." Malcolm said, "You made a map and put it on our phones?" Luna said, "Yes, Malcolm. I hope you're not mad." Malcolm said, "Why should I be mad? This is brilliant. If we have a map of Equestria on our phones, we'll be able to get to Bridlewood in no time." Charlie agreed with his dad and said, "He's right." Charlie turned to Sonny Starscream and said, "Sonny, keep your map in your satchel. We'll use it for emergencies." Sonny said, "Right." Sonny Starscream put a map in her satchel while Charlie looked at the map on his smartphone. He said, "Okay, it says we need to go straight for an hour until we find a world sign that says Bridlewood World and Zephyr World. Then when we get to Bridlewood World, it would take us 30 minutes to get to the forest." Grubber looked shocked and said, "We have to walk for an hour and 30 minutes? But I just ate unicorn cupcakes!" Charlie said, "You always just ate." Tempest said, "Hey, don't tell Grubber that. That's my job." Charlie said, "Sorry." Sonny said, "Well, let's head to Bridlewood and find that amulet. Follow me." Everyone followed Sonny Starscream while they were walking on the Maritime World. Location, the Storm Queen's Well. Area, study area. Darklight Storm was looking at Charlie and his friends and family from the crystal ball. Darklight said, "So they're going to Bridlewood to find the sun and moon amulet. And Starlight Glimmer's spirit is inside Charlie." Darklight Storm made an evil smile and said, "This could be interesting." Darklight Storm called out to the storm creatures and said, "Prepare the ship! We're going to Bridlewood Forest." Location, Maritime World. During a long walk, Charlie saw Princess Luna flying in the sky. Charlie said, "I don't see why you can fly, but I can't." Luna says, "Walking is good for you." Charlie said, "Yeah, I know that, but why you have to fly?" Luna said, I'm just looking out for the storm creatures." Luna said, "I'm just looking out for the Storm Queen's airships. We must get to Bridlewood before they do." Charlie said, "Well, let me know when you see them, okay?" Sonny Starscream comforted Charlie and said, "Don't feel bad, Charlie. At least Skystar's happy." Charlie saw Princess Skystar flying in the sky happily. Skystar said, "Oh, it feels so good to stretch my wings. Come with me, Charlie. Ask Starlight to use her magic and we can fly together." Charlie said, I like you, Skystar, but I have to earn my flight home." Charlie said, I like to Sky Star, but I want to earn the Fly Harmony first. Starlight Glimmer used her self-levitation spell on Charlie to make him fly. Charlie looked surprised when he saw his feet off the ground. He said, "Hey, what's going on? Where am I falling? Starlight!" Charlie said, "Sorry, Charlie, but I think you should fly with her." Charlie rolled his eyes and flew with Princess Skystar. Charlie said, I guess you knew I couldn't wait. I guess you knew I couldn't wait." Charlie looked at Princess Skystar. Charlie looked at Princess Skystar's wings. He said, "Your wings look beautiful, Skystar." Princess Skystar was blushing and said, "Oh, thank you. When I'm a sea pony, when I'm a sea pony, I use thank you. When I'm a sea pony, I use them to swim faster." Charlie said, "Well, if we can find a lake, we'll swim together." Princess Skystar looked worried and said, "I can't." Charlie said, "Why not?" And Skystar said, "Because my mom took my necklace away. It was the only thing that turns me into a sea pony." Charlie said, "Why would she do that?" Princess Skystar held on to Charlie's hand. Skystar said, "When we get to Bridalwood and find an amulet, I promise you I'll tell you. I just don't want to right now." Charlie said, "Is that the reason why you don't want to go back to Mount Eris?" Skystar said, "Yes, but there's more than one reason." Charlie understood Princess Skystar and said, "Okay, you can tell me when you're ready." Princess Skystar smiled. Princess Skystar smiled until Malcolm called out to Charlie up from the ground. He said, "Charlie boy, we found a world sign!" Charlie and Princess Skystar flew down to the ground, then landed on their feet and hooves and walked up to Malcolm and the others. Charlie said, "Where?" Charlie saw the road sign that says Bridalwood Forest and Separate Heights. Charlie said, "So Separate Heights is straight ahead and Bridalwood Forest is on the left." Tempest said, So we go left?" Charlie said, "That's right, Tempest, let's go." While everyone resumed their journey, Tempest Shadow turned around and saw Grubber who looked exhausted. Tempest said, "Are you okay, Grubber?" Grubber said, "I'm out of breath. I think I lost a pound." Tempest Shadow sighed happily and said, "Hop on my back." Grubber looked happy and hopped on Tempest Shadow's back. She said, "You know, Grubber, you feel less heavy than last time. You should try to eat more fruits and vegetables than less cakes and pies." Grubber said, Yeah, I'll think about it." Tempest said, "Well, I say you better. Come on, we better catch up with the others." Tempest, Shadow, and Grubber caught up with their friends. Location: Bridalwood Road. Charlie and his friends and family were still walking, while Princess Luna was looking out for the Storm Queen's airships in the sky. Charlie said, any sign of airships, Luna?" Luna said, "Not yet, Charlie." Everyone made it to a newly built bridge. Izzy said, "See that, Charlie? That's the bridge we built after every pony was united." Charlie said, "Oh yeah, I remember. It happened in the TV specials or series." Izzy said, "You're talking about My Little Pony, right?" Charlie said, "Yes." And Izzy said excitedly, "Oh, I gotta watch that show!" Starlight Glimmer looked at the bridge and looked surprised. She said, "Wait a minute, I recognize that bridge. It was made of bricks while I was running from the stone creature. Wait a minute, I recognize that bridge. It was made of bricks while I was running from the stone creatures to hide the arrow from the forest. The stone queen wasn't destroyed it before you guys built a new one." Izzy said, "Don't worry, Starlight. This bridge is completely safe." When Izzy Moonbow leaned on the bridge, she accidentally broke off. When Izzy Moonbow leaned on the bridge, she accidentally broke off one of the handles, and it fell down to the bottomless pit. Izzy Moonbow smiled nervously at her. Izzy Moonbow smiled nervously at her friends. She said, well, almost. Hitch says, be careful, every pony. This bridge isn't built to last. Grover looks scared. He said, Tempest, this bridge looks dangerous. Tempest says, well, it's the only way to get to the forest. Just don't look down or close your eyes. When everyone was walking on the bridge, Grover closed his eyes while he was muttering himself. Okay, Grover, keep your eyes shut and don't look down. Grover slowly opened his eyes and looked scared when he saw the bottomless pit. He said, Tempest, I'm looking down! Ah! Grover frighteningly grabbed his arms around Tempest's neck and closed his eyes again. He said, I can't take this, let's go back! Tempest says while choking, Grover, you let me go now! Grover says, not until we cross the bridge! Tempest said, while choking, but we're already crossed the bridge, look! Grover opened his eyes and looked happy when he realized he and his friends crossed the bridge. He said, oh! Tempest gasped for air after Grover let her go. Grover said, I guess it was a short bridge. Tempest said, you need to stop doing that Tempest said, you need to stop doing that every time you're scared. Grover said, I can't help it. Tempest sighed deeply. Someday you're gonna have to. Princess Luna flew to the ground and landed in front of Charlie. Charlie said, do you see him, Luna? Luna said, no, but I sense their presence, and they're on their way to Bridlewood. Hitch says, do you think they know about the amulet? Luna said, I don't know. Maybe. Sunny Starscale was thinking and had an idea. She said, okay, when we get to Bridlewood, Sunny said, okay, when we get to Bridlewood, we need to warn Alpha Brittle. Yes, let me say it again. Sunny Starscale said, okay, we need to get to Bridlewood. Sunny says, okay, when we get to Bridlewood, we need to warn Alpha Brittle. Yes, sorry. Okay, when we get to Bridlewood, we need to warn Alpha Brittle about the Storm Queen before we can find the Sun and Moon amulet. Charlie agreed with his cousin and said, she's right. Everybody in Bridlewood. Charlie said, she's right. Everybody in Bridlewood Forest must know about this and about my grandfather. Let's hurry. Charlie, his friends and family ran to Bridlewood Forest. End of chapter 13. Chapter 14. The courage of the Chapter 14. The courage of the Humacorn. Location Bridlewood. Everyone arrived at the forest while Charlie was checking in his smartphone. Charlie said, hey, I got a message from my sister, Jewel. She said it's Solomon's birthday today. Hitch said, who's Solomon? Malcolm said, she's my daughter's son and my son's. She's my daughter's son. And Malcolm said, she's my daughter's son, my son's nephew, and my grandson. Sonny said, so you're his uncle, Charlie? Charlie said, yeah, he's 5 years old and my birthday is tomorrow. Princess Skystar looked surprised and said, really? Your birthday is tomorrow? Charlie said, that's right. We used to have a big party on my birthday for me and Solomon. Jewel and his brother-in-law Mitch are his Jewel and his brother-in-law Mitch are his parents. Sorry, let me say again. Jewel and my brother-in-law Mitch are his parents, and now they live with their friends Cadenza, her husband Steve, and their daughter Mary. She is the same age as me. They're very nice people, but they're very familiar. Luna said, well, I'm sure we'll see him again. Charlie said, all right, everyone, let's stay focused while... Starlight said, all right, everyone, let's stay focused on why we're here. Charlie and his friends and family made it to town and saw all unicorns playing together and being happy. While Starlight Glimmer was looking around, she said, wow, there wasn't a town and many unicorns since I last... Starlight said, wow, There wasn't a town. There wasn't a town of many unicorns since last time I was here. Charlie was confused where all the unicorns were happily waving at him. Charlie whispered to Luna, Luna, why are these unicorns surprised to see me? Luna said, I think they haven't seen a Humacorn before, or they haven't heard about it. Charlie said, well, maybe they must have forgotten about it after Sunny and her friends brought the magic bag and united every pony. Starlight Glimmer was frustrated and said, Could we just focus on finding Alphabet and warn about the Storm Queen is back and find that amulet? All the unicorns looked shocked. The first unicorn said, Did that unicorn ghost said the Storm Queen is back? Yeah, the second unicorn screamed, Ah! All the unicorns in Bridalwood started to run and panic. Starlight Glimmer tried to calm them down. She said, Wait, I'm not a ghost! I mean, I am, but I'm not here to scare you! Luna said, I'll handle this. Princess Luna used her traditional royal counselor voice at the unicorns. Silence! All the unicorns stopped panicking and looked at Princess Luna. Luna said in her normal voice, I am Luna, Princess of the Night, and yes, Starlight here speaks the truth. The Storm Queen is back, but there's no need to panic. We came here to protect you and your forest, but we need to consult with your leader. Where is Alphabet? Alphabet said, I'm right here. Alphabet walked up to Princess Luna and said, Now who made that booming noise? Alphabet looked surprised when he saw Princess Luna. He said, I don't believe it. You're Luna, one of the princesses of Ancient Equestria. I heard that you entered every pony's dreams and helped them face their nightmares. Luna said, You knew about me? Alphabet said, Of course, I learned everything about you. And then you became Nightmare Moon until the Guardians of Harmony restored you. Luna said, Yeah, but that was after my sister banished me to the moon, and I never knew I could meet my long-time fan. Alphabet said, I've been your fan since I was a little colt. But I did hear every pony say this. But did I hear some pony said? Yeah, but let me say again. But did I hear some pony say the Storm Queen is back? Starlight Glimmer smiled nervously when Alphabet looked at her. Starlight said, Sorry! Princess Luna whispered to Alphabet. Princess Luna whispered to Alphabet. Yeah, I'm a little rusty because, I'm always rusty because I'm autistic, so try to understand that, okay? If you miss it from the other videos. My videos. Luna whispered, Don't be afraid. She's just a spirit inside the Humacorn. Alphabet said, Humacorn? Alphabet looked surprised when he saw Charlie and walked up to him. He said, So you're the legendary Humacorn Carvette Equestrian? Charlie said, Actually, I'm his grandson, Charlie. Charlie introduced Alphabet to his dad, Tempest Shadow Grubber, and Princess Skystar. He said, This is my dad, Malcolm, who's just human and my grandfather's brother. And these two are from Ancient Equestria. Tempest Shadow, she's a unicorn with a broken horn, and her sidekick Grubber. He is a hungry hedgehog for cakes and pies. And this is the Princess of Sequestria, Skystar. Princess Skystar waved to Alphabet and said, Hi! Alphabet walked up to Princess Skystar. He said, Ah, a hippogriff. So nice to meet you, Your Highness. Alphabet took Princess Skystar's claw and kissed her. Skystar giggled, Thank you. Sunny Star Scout walked up to Alphabet. She said, Alphabet, I know you're going to think it's my fault for bringing the magic back and uniting every pony, but we need to tell you why the Storm Queen took our magic and separated us. Alphabet sighed and said, "All right, let's head to my diner." Alphabet turned to his fellow unicorns and said, "It's okay, every pony. The Storm Queen isn't here." The unicorns were relieved while Charlie, his friends, and family followed Alphabet to his diner. Area Crystal Tea Room. Inside the diner, Charlie and the others sat at the table with Alphabet having a drink except Starlight Glimmer, who was standing next to Charlie. Grubber took a sip and spat it out with disgust. He said, "Ah! What kind of drink is that?" Tempershower took a look. Yeah, Tempershower took a look at Grubber's drink. She said, "It's water, Grubber." Grubber said, "Oh, I usually have chocolate milk." Tempershower, while Alphabet was having a conversation with his new and old friends. He said, "So the Storm Queen only took our magic and separated us because she hates friendship." So they said, "Yes." And Alphabet said, "And Carvette Equestrian is your dad." Sonny said, "Right." Alphabet said, "And Charlie over here is your cousin, and his dad is your uncle." Alphabet looked confused and said, "I'm all confused here. You were an Earth Pony before you became an Alicorn." Sonny said, "That's because my dad disguised himself as an Earth Pony, so the Storm Queen wouldn't find him. Sorry. So the Storm Queen wouldn't find him." Alphabet said, "Okay, that might explain it. But I thought she was destroyed after you brought the magic. But I thought she was destroyed after you brought our magic back." Luna said, "But it didn't. But it didn't. She's furious because she found out Sunny brought it back. Now the Storm Queen is willing to destroy every pony, including us." Alphabet looked a little worried and said, "Well, there's only one thing I need to do." Charlie said, "Yes?" Alphabet said, "Something I should have done a long time ago." Charlie looked happy and said, "Yes?" Alphabet said, "With my magic," Sunny Starscout said. Oh, sorry. Sunny Starscout looked excited and said, "Yes, yes!" And Alphabet said, "I have to evacuate my people. I have to evacuate my people." Charlie and his friends and family looked shocked and Charlie and Sunny said in unison, "What?" Hitch said, "Wait, you're not going to fight back?" Alphabet said, "I'm sorry, but she is so powerful. My parents used to tell me stories about the Storm Queen, and I was so scared. Of course they were only trying to protect me." Luna said, "But you shouldn't be scared. Or didn't you realize they were only protecting you because they want you to protect your people?" Alphabet looked sad while Princess Luna sighed. Luna said, "Listen, when I was young, I was scared because my sister Luna. Well, sorry." Luna said, "Listen, when I was young, I was scared because my sister Celestia was better than me. Then I became jealous and transformed into Nightmare Moon. My sister banished me to the moon for 1,000 moons until Twilight and her friends helped me. And I spent my life in the dream world helping other ponies face their fears because I don't want them to give up and become like I was before. Don't you understand me, Alphabet? Alphabet?" Alphabet said, "I understand, Your Highness." Princess Luna smiled until Alphabet looked serious with his new and old friends. He said, "But my mind is made up. I'm addressing every unicorn to evacuate by the word, and I suggest you all do the same. The Storm Queen cannot be stopped." Alphabet turned to his fellow unicorns at the diner. He said, "Everybody, the Storm Queen knows we have our magic back. We must leave by the word right now before she gets here." The unicorns listened to Alphabet, and they were about to leave the diner. Princess Skystar looked scared and said, "Charlie, do something!" Charlie looked a little nervous and said, "Well, I don't know what to do. I thought Luna's story might give him a... Well, I don't know what to do. I thought Luna's story might give him courage to fight back." Princess Starlight Glimmer had an idea. She said, Don't worry, Charlie, I got this. Follow me. Charlie followed Starlight Glimmer as they walked up to Alpha Beetle and the unicorns and stopping them from leaving. Alpha Beetle said, "Please step aside. Please step aside. Our lives are at stake." Starlight said, "I just want to say you're right. When the Storm Queen, who was originally the Storm King, came to Catalar, Trixie and I escaped and hid in my village until my friend Twilight stopped her. So if you don't want to defend yourselves by fighting back, then I suggest you beat it." Alpha Beetle and the unicorns looked confused. He said, "Beat it?" Charlie was wondering what Starlight Glimmer was talking about. Charlie said, Beat it? Starlight said, "Yeah, beat it. You know, if you want to stay alive, they better do what they can." Charlie looked surprised when he realized what Starlight meant. He said, "Oh, beat it." Alphabet said, "What? And what do you mean by beat it?" Oh, sorry. Alphabet said, "And what do you mean by beat it?" Charlie and Starlight said in unison, "This!" Charlie and Starlight Glimmer used their magic to transform the diner into a musical sea and sang "Beat It" 2008 by Michael Jackson, Fergie, and will.i.am. Musical sequence. Starlight Glimmer played the guitar in the middle of the song. After the song ended and the diner went back to normal, Alpha Beetle was still looked confused. He said, "What's the point of that song?" Charlie and Starlight Glimmer sighed in disappointment. Charlie walked up to Alpha Beetle and the unicorns and said, "My point is, if we don't do something, what's going to happen to all the ponies in Equestria? Are we going to run and hide until the end?" The unicorns looked worried. The third unicorn said, "Well," and the fourth unicorn said, "No." Charlie said, "Then what are we going to do?" Alpha Beetle said, "Well, we could try to reform the Storm Queen by being friends with her, so she'll let us keep our magic." Charlie said, "I'm afraid the magic of friendship is never going to work with creatures like the Storm Queen, who is corrupted with power and never cares about anything else. But it did work with Luna and Starlight because they have good hearts, and the Guardians of Harmony helped them see that." Princess Luna and Starlight Glimmer smiled while Charlie continued his speech. He said, "The Storm Queen hates friendship, and all she wants is to take over Equestria and use and destroy anyone and anything that stands in her way. In other words, she wants chaos and destruction. And you know why? Because we're mad." The fifth unicorn said, We are?" Charlie said, "You bet you are. I'm mad, you're mad, and I'm gonna stay mad until we bring the Storm Queen down. What?" Alpha Beetle and the unicorns were happy with Charlie's encouragement. Alpha Beetle and the unicorns said in unison, "What?" Charlie said, "Are we best friends or are we worst enemies?" Alpha Beetle and the unicorns said in unison, "Best friends!" Charlie said, "That's right. The Storm Queen can take our home, she can take our land, but she'll never take our friendship and magic. If we use them to restore Ancient Equestria, save the Guardians of Harmony, and every pony here, we can destroy the Storm Queen, end her reign of terror, and the rest of Harmony will spread again, and this time it won't last forever." The sixth unicorn said, no, not six, number six. The number six unicorn said, yeah, that's better. "You said it." The seventh unicorn said, "Well, I don't know what Humacorn looks like, but he spoke like a true one." Alpha Beetle said, "Charlie's right. We don't need to evacuate. We've been suffering from the Storm Queen's wrath for a very long time, but not anymore. We need to defend ourselves and fight back. All hail the mighty Humacorn, Charlie Equestrian, and his friends and family!" Alpha Beetle and the unicorns cheered for Charlie and his friends and family, who looked happy. Sunny said, "Good work, Charlie. I knew they'll listen to you." Malcolm said, and your speech was very powerful." Luna said, "And truthful." Izzy said, "I guess you're going to say the same." Izzy said, I guess you're going to say all that all over again to Queen Haven when we get to Zephyr Heights. Hitch says, and I bet Pip and Zip will love it. Charlie said, well, I know they will. Charlie looked at his feet and realized he was floating again. He turned to Starlight Glimmer and said, Starlight! Starlight said, Hey, I didn't do it this time. Princess Luna looked surprised. Luna said, Charlie, your wings! Charlie looked at his Pegasus wings, and it was flapping up and down, and they were glowing like they were glowing with rainbow light. Charlie said, What's happening? Luna said, Isn't it obvious? You have awakened the power of the flight harmony. Charlie smiled. Charlie said, That means I can fly. I can fly! Charlie flew around the diner with excitement, and everyone looked surprised. Full stop. Charlie landed on the floor and took a bow. Charlie said, I learned that from Peter Pan. Hitch looked confused and said, Peter who? Charlie said, The boy who never grew up and fights pirates. Charlie said, The boy who never grew up and fights pirates. My nephew likes him. I've seen the movie lots of times before he did. Yeah, he said, I've seen the movie lots of times before he did. Hitch smiled and said, Your world sounds weird but exciting. Grubber interrupted his friends. And said, Whoa, stop, wait a minute. What about Sunny's powers? Her dad's a Humacorn, right? Luna said, Yeah, oh, yes. Princess Luna turned to Sunny Starscales. She said, Sunny, when you became an alicorn, while uniting every pony and brought magic... Sunny, when you became a unicorn, while reuniting every pony and brought back the magic, you awakened all the powers of the Humacorn, just like your father. So you don't have to be scared. Sunny Starscale smiled at Princess Luna. Sunny said, Oh, I already knew that. After I found out more about my dad. Sunny said, Oh, I already knew that. After I found out about my dad. Let me start again. Luna said, Sunny says, Oh, I already knew that after I found out more about my dad, Luna. And I'm not scared. I'm happy. On the outside, I have the appearance of an Earth pony, now an alicorn. But on the inside, I'm a Humacorn. Grubber spotted a bright light under the table. Grubber said, Alphabettle, what's that light under the table? Alphabettle said, that bothers me and my customers, so I use this table to cover it up. Sometimes I use it at night for emergencies. End of chapter 14. Chapter 15. Chapter 15. The Sun and... Sorry, let me start again. Chapter 15. The Sun and Moon of Light. Starlight Glimmer looked surprised when she saw the bright light under the table. Starlight said, Bright light? Alphabettle said, Well, if it bothers every pony, I'll get rid of it. Starlight Glimmer stopped Alphabettle. She said, No, wait! Starlight Glimmer turned to Charlie and said, Charlie, move that table! Charlie pushed the table forward. Then he and his friends and family saw the bright light in the floor. Hitch said, What's that? Starlight Glimmer said, I've seen that light before. This is where I buried the amulet. Charlie, we gotta dig it out. Charlie said, I'll try and use my sword. Charlie took his equestrian sword out of his scabbard and used it to start digging. After Charlie finished digging, he happily saw the Sun and Moon amulet and picked it up. Charlie said, The Sun and Moon amulet! We found it! Starlight Glimmer took a good look at the amulet and said, It looks okay, and it still has its magic, but it's glowing brighter than usual. Charlie said, Why is it doing that? Luna said, I think I think I know. Everyone heard the sound of an airship coming from outside. Alphabet said, "What was that?" Grubber looked scared. He said, "It's her! It's the storm!" So Grubber said, "It's her! It's the Storm Queen!" Grubber faithfully wrapped his arms around Tempershel's neck and he was shaking. Grubber said, "Hurry, Tempest! Don't let her make me watch!" Grubber said, "Hurry, Tempest! Don't let her make me watch her destroy my cakes and pies! It's my worst torture ever!" Tempershell was struggling and said, "Get off me!" Charlie put the Sun and Moon amulet in his pocket and said, "Okay, everybody, prepare yourselves." Charlie, his friends and family left the diner while Apple and the unicorns followed him. Back in the forest, they saw Dark Storm with the storm creatures slid down on the rope and landed on the ground. Dark Storm smiled when she saw Charlie and the others. Dark said, "Hello again, Charlie." Charlie put on a brave face and said, Hey, Darklight." Darklight Storm spotted Starlight Glimmer hiding behind Charlie. She said, "Ah, Starlight Glimmer. So this is where you've been hiding after the princesses took you from my queen. Thanks for letting me have your body." Starlight Glimmer looked shocked when she saw Darklight Storm's mane. She said, "My mane! It's showing dark! What have you done to it?" Darklight said, "I gave myself a mane cut and dyed it with dark grey and dark blue mane dye. Do you like it?" Starlight Glimmer was scared to speak, but Charlie spoke for her. Charlie said, "No, it looks shocking." Darklight Storm and the storm creatures laughed out loud. Darklight said, "I know, because we're storm creatures. Well, I'm a storm unicorn." Charlie wasn't laughing. He said, "This isn't a joke. I know why you came here." Darklight Storm and the storm creatures stopped laughing. Darklight said, "Oh, you do? Oh, you do? Well, I didn't just came here to destroy every unicorn who violated my queen's law. I'm here to take what Starlight hid 1,000 years ago." Darklight Storm reached out a right hoof. She said, "Now, give me the amulet." Charlie said, "No, your queen already controlled the sun and moon with her staff as Sacanas." Darklight Storm smiled and said, "Oh my, Charlie, I'll make you a deal. You give me the amulet and I promise I'll spare all the unicorns' lives. For now." Charlie didn't believe Darklight Storm. Charlie said, "Why don't you take your promise and send it to the moon?" Darklight Storm looked confused and said, Darklight Storm looked confused, and Charlie said, That's my way of saying I don't believe you and no." Darklight Storm looked angry and said, "I don't mind your tone, but I don't like you refusing my deal. Now you left me no choice." Darklight Storm addressed all the unicorns of Bridlewood. She said, "Unicorns of Bridlewood, you have violated the Storm Queen's law, uniting every pony and bringing friendship and magic back. Now you must pay the ultimate price with your lives, and there's nothing you can do about it." After Darklight Storm stopped laughing, she looked confused when she saw all the unicorns, including Alphabettle, Charlie, and his friends and family didn't look. Sorry, let me start again. After Darklight Storm stopped laughing and looked confused. Sorry. After Darklight Storm stopped laughing, she looked confused when she saw all the unicorns, including Alphabettle, Charlie, and his friends and family, didn't look scared. Darklight Storm said, "What? Why aren't you scared? When I said you must pay your lives, that means you all will be destroyed. Isn't that scary enough?" Charlie walked up to Darklight Storm and said, "They are not scared because I told them to face it." Darklight said, face what? Charlie said, their fears. They've been avoiding friendship for a very long time. Charlie said, their fears. They've been avoiding friendship for a very long time until my cousin Sonny helped them embrace it. So if we can face friendship, we can face your queen, and that means we have to face you. Darklight Storm didn't look happy and said, you're making a big mistake, Charlie. You have no idea how powerful the Storm Queen is. She has the power to control everything and every pony. And if they try to resist, she will destroy them. Just like what they did to Novo. Princess Skystar gasped and said, what? My mom? What has she done to my mom? Tempest said, she's lying, don't listen to her. Tempest said, she's lying, don't listen to her. Darklight said, do I look like I'm lying? I'll show you who's lying. The Storm Queen gave the Storm Creatures an order. She said, Storm Creatures, destroy every pony in that Humacorn and burn the whole forest. Everybody got into pre-battle formation, including Charlie, his friends, and family. Alpha Brittle and the Unicorn looked scared and said, Charlie, we did not think this through. And Charlie said, don't turn back. That's just what Darklight wanted us to do. We must show them that we're not afraid. When everyone was about to attack, Darklight Storm's smartphone was ringing from a satchel. Darklight Storm moaned. Hang on! Darklight Storm answered the phone and the Storm Queen appeared on the screen. Darklight said, yes, Your Highness. The Storm Queen said, Darklight, I want you to return to the castle. Darklight Storm looked shocked. She said, but what? But I need to get... The Storm Queen interrupted Darklight Storm. I said now! She's already in Separate Heights. Let her handle the Humacorn. Charlie, his friends, and family looked confused while Darklight Storm sighed deeply. As you wish, my queen. Darklight Storm hung up her phone and looked at Charlie and said, consider yourself lucky, Charlie. I'll let every pony live for now. The new queen of Separate Heights is waiting for you and your love. Charlie said, what? My love? What? My love? Darklight Storm smiled at Charlie. Then she turned to the Storm Creatures. She said, you heard the queen! Back to the castle! Darklight Storm and the Storm Creatures held onto the ropes, pulled up the airship, and flew away. After the airship was gone, Hitch, Trailblazer, and Izzy Moonbow looked confused. Hitch said, they fled. Izzy said, but why? Grubber said, maybe Darklight is scared of the Storm Queen more than me. Tempest Shadow was thinking. She said, she did say to Charlie that Tempest said, she did say to Charlie there's a new queen. No, Tempest said, she did say to Charlie that there's a new queen in... Sorry, let me say it again. She did say to Charlie there is a new queen in Separate Heights, and she's waiting for him and his love. Princess Skystar gasped and said, is she talking to me? No, sorry. She meant to say, Skystar said, is she talking about me? Tempest said, I don't know, but the way she said it does sound familiar. Izzy said, so what happened to Queen Haven, Tempest? Tempest said, I don't know, Izzy. I haven't met her. Izzy Moonbow realized she made a mistake. She said, oh yeah, you did. I was thinking about me and Sonny. Luna said, well, whatever happens, they will be back and every pony in Bridlewood must... Luna said, well, whatever happens, they'll be back. And Luna said, well, whatever happens, they'll be back and every pony in Bridlewood must know this. Princess Luna walked up to all the unicorns and gave them her speech. Luna said, citizens of Bridlewood, I, Princess Luna, will stay here and protect you and your land from the Storm Queen. While Princess Luna was continuing her speech, Charlie noticed Starlight Glimmer looked sad. Charlie said, "What's the matter, Starlight? Are you sad because of what Darklight said to you?" Starlight said, "Yeah, but it's more than that." Charlie said, "You miss your son, don't you?" And Starlight said, "Yes, and Sunburst." Starlight Glimmer shook her head and turned to Charlie. Starlight said, I'm sorry, Charlie, I need to be alone. I have to go back inside your body, but you can call me whenever you need me." Charlie nodded. Charlie nodded his head in agreement. He said, "I understand." Starlight Glimmer magically went back inside Charlie's body, and Malcolm walked up to his son. Malcolm said, "You know, I've seen that look before." And Charlie said, I know, Dad. Mom used to look that way when she found out I have autism." Malcolm looked curious and said, "I wonder if Starlight's son is autistic as well." Princess Luna continued her speech to the unicorns. Luna said, "And when you start having nightmares, I'll enter your dreams and help you face your fears." The unicorn in the back row raised his hoof up. The seventh unicorn said, "Your Highness, I have a question." Luna said, "Yes." Then the seventh unicorn said, "How are you going to protect Bridlewood?" Luna said, "It's simple. I'll use my magic to create a massive shield around it, so the Storm Queen and the Storm Creatures and Darklight can't get in or out. My sister Celestia did the same thing at Maritime Bay. But first, this Humacorn will do one task for me." Charlie looked confused when Princess Luna walked up to him. Charlie said, "What task?" Luna said, "Charlie, the amulet." Charlie took the Sun and Moon amulet out of his pocket. Luna said, It's only going because it needs to." Luna said, "It's only going because you need to release his magic." Charlie said, "But how?" Luna said, "You must fly to the sky, raise the amulet up, and recite the words." Charlie said, "What words?" Princess Luna whispered in Charlie's ear. Princess Luna whispered in Charlie's white ear. Charlie looked surprised. Charlie said, "Those are the words?" Princess Luna nodded her head. Princess Luna nodded her head. She said, "Your grandfather was about to release his magic before Celestia and I met you. But now it's up to you." Charlie looked at the Sun and Moon amulet. Then he looked up to the sky. Charlie flapped his Pegasus wings and soared into the air. As Charlie made it to the sky, he held the amulet up and said the words that Princess Luna told him to say. Charlie said, Sun and Moon of Light, unleash with all your might." The Sun and Moon amulet floated into the air. Then it became brighter and brighter until it exploded like fireworks. Everyone in Bridlewood looked up to Charlie. Everyone in Bridlewood looked up to the sky and saw the fireworks. Charlie flew back to the forest, landed on the ground, and walked up to Princess Luna. He said, "Luna, what just happened?" Luna said, "That amulet contains my magic and Celestia's magic. But when you release them, the world will rotate slowly, as it should be like your world." Charlie understood Princess Luna. He said, So when the worlds rotate slowly, you won't be able to raise the moon, and Celestia won't raise the sun." Charlie smiled. "I guess that was part of your retirement plan, right?" Luna said, "Yes. Thanks to you, the sun and moon are forever protected." Princess Luna looked surprised and said, "Oh, that reminds me." Princess Luna magically charged up her horn and released a big magic ball of pink light into the air. Then it formed into a pink bubble shield that surrounded the entire forest. All the unicorns looked surprised while Princess Luna walked up to them. Luna says, "This shield will protect you. The Storm Queen, the Storm Creatures, and Darklight Storm won't get in or out. You can leave whenever you like, but I strongly advise you not to until further notice. And there's 3 rules you must try to follow. Stay safe, be brave, and work together as friends." Applebitter looked happy. He said, "You know what? Those rules sound easy and strong. Because of friendship." Alphabet turned to his unicorn citizens. He said, "Listen up, every pony. We may not have, we may not have begun we may have not begun the battle." Sorry, Alphabet said, listen up, every pony. We may have not begun our battle, but we must prepare for the next one. I promise you, when the storm creatures come back, we're gonna knock them out to the forest like there's no tomorrow." All the unicorns agreed with Alphabet. Alphabet said, "And we would never have the courage if it wasn't for the Humacorn's grandson, Charlie Equestrian, his father, his cousin, and friends." All the unicorns cheered for Charlie, his friends, and family. Sunny Starscout said, "We did it, Charlie!" Izzy said, "Riderwood is safe, and now all we have to do is get to Separate Heights and warn Greenhaven." Malcolm looked at the sunset. He said, "Well, it's getting dark. I don't think we should leave right now." Timber said, "Malcolm's right. It's too late to go to Separate Heights. We must stay here for the night, and we'll leave in the morning." Izzy said, "Let's stay at my house. There's plenty of room. Let's go." Charlie and his friends and family followed Izzy Moonbow to her house until Charlie's smartphone was beeping. Charlie took his phone out of his pocket and looked surprised when he got a message from his nephew Solomon. Charlie said, "It's a message from Solomon." Sonny said, "What does it say?" Charlie was reading his nephew's message. "Apple Charlie, thank you for giving me My Little Pony role-playing game for my birthday. Mary and I were playing it, and we are in Changeling Kingdom fighting Queen Chrysalis. Bye, see you soon." Sunny Starscout looked confused. She said, "Apple Charlie?" Charlie said, "That's how he calls me Uncle. It's weird, but I like it." Sunny Starscout laughed a little bit. She said, "Your nephew sounds funny. I hope I get to see him." Charlie said, "Well, I hope he sees this world. He'll love it." Charlie and Sunny Starscout went to catch up with their friends and family. Area, Izzy Moonbow's house. That night, in the house, Sunny Starscout, his Trailblazer, and Izzy Moonbow were watching My Little Pony Friendship is Magic from Charlie's phone. They looked excited. Izzy said, "Wow, that's what the Guardians of Harmony looks like?" It says, "They don't give up on anything like us." Sunny said, I guess we're their inspiration. Pip and Sid will love this." End of chapter 15. Chapter 16, the final chapter, The Equestrian Moonwalker, based on the legendary Michael Jackson, of course. The Moonwalker bit, I mean. Charlie smiled when he saw his cousin and his friends watching My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, and his dad falling asleep on the couch. Then he turned to Princess Skystar, and he noticed she was sadly looking out the window. Charlie walked up to her and said, "Skystar, are you all right?" Princess Skystar looked at Charlie and said, "Charlie, can I talk to you outside?" Charlie said, "Of course, whatever makes you feel comfortable." Charlie and Princess Skystar were walking the forest. Skystar said, "I didn't want to tell anyone about this. I wanted to share it with you first." Charlie said, What is it you want to share with me? Is it about your mom?" Skystar said, "Yes. It all started back in Mount Eris. My mom and I were arguing about the Humacorn I saw." Charlie said, "My grandfather." Princess Skystar nodded and said, "My mom believes it was just a myth." Flashback sequence, subtext 1,000 years ago, location Mount Eris, area Hippogriphia / Princess Skystar's bedroom. Princess Skystar and her mother, Queen Novo, were arguing. Queen Novo said, "Skystar, for 1,000 times, the Humacorn isn't real." Skystar said, "But Mom, he is real. I saw him fly past our home when I was little, and again today. His wings are so beautiful." Queen Novo looked fed up and said, "I don't believe this. I thought you gave up on..." Queen Novo said, I don't believe this. I thought you gave that up when Princess Twilight and her friends came to our kingdom." Queen Novo said, I don't believe this. I thought you gave that up. Yeah, Queen Noble said, I don't believe this. I thought you gave that up on Prince. Sorry, it's going to take a little time. Sorry about that, everyone. Queen Noble said, I don't believe this. I thought you gave that up when Princess Twilight and her friends came to our kingdom. And you're back on that? Skystar said, my dad used to tell me stories about the Humacorn after he met him, and I believed him. Sorry, let me say again. Skystar said, my dad used to tell me stories about the Humacorn after he met him, and I believed in him. Princess Noble sighed. Queen Noble sighed. Honey, I know you missed your father, but you need to move on. That's what he wanted you to do. Skystar said, you don't understand me like Dad did. The Humacorn banished the Storm Queen, separated 3 crystals that help everybody believe that friendship is magic. And look around you, Mom. All of this happened. And if it wasn't for that Humacorn, we wouldn't be here right now. Queen Noble said, so you choose to believe this nonsense. Skystar said, if you mean this heroism, then yes, I do. Queen Noble took a deep breath and exhaled. You left me no choice. Princess Skystar looked confused and said, what? Queen Noble took her daughter's necklace away from her. Princess Skystar looked shocked and said, Mom, give back my necklace! Queen Noble said, from now on, you will remain as a hypocrite. You won't get this back until you learn to grow up. I'm choosing a prince for you so you can get married tomorrow morning. You are destined to become the next queen of Mount Eris, and this will make you forget about this Humacorn nonsense. Skystar said, but Mom, I'm being... Then Queen Noble said, you're being a child! Princess Skystar looked sad at her mother. Queen Noble said, and I don't want that anymore. Queen Noble closed the door after she left the room, while Princess Skystar started to cry. She said, I'm not a child! Princess Skystar jumped on her bed and cried in her pillow. After she stopped crying, Princess Skystar dried her tears with her claws. She said, I know I see the Humacorn. I'll find it and show it to my mom, so she'll have to let me be myself. Princess Skystar got out of bed, opened her window, and checked outside for guards. Skystar said, there's no guards. Now's my chance. Princess Skystar looked at her shell friends, Shelley and Sheldon, and talked to them. Oh, Sheldon, I'm sorry, but I can't stay here when my mom is controlling my life. Princess Skystar hugged Shelley and Sheldon. She said, I'm going to miss you guys. Goodbye. Princess Skystar flew out the window until she was caught and trapped in a cage, and she was dragged up to the airship. Princess Skystar saw the Storm Queen symbol on the airship. She got scared and called her mom for help. Skystar said, Mom, help me! The Storm Queen just kidnapped me! Skystar said, Mom, help me! The Storm Queen just kidnapped me! Help! Mom! Present day sequence. Location Bridlewood. Charlie and Princess Skystar were at the forest. She said, the Storm Creatures took me to the Queen's well, and I met the Storm Queen. That was the day Darklight turned me into stone. Charlie looked a little surprised. He said, so that was the day the Storm Queen invaded Ancient Equestria, and you don't want to go home because your mom is forcing you to get married. Skystar said, but I don't want to get married. I want to have fun and be with my friend Pinkie Pie. My mom never understood me when my dad was alive, and I thought she did when I met Twilight and her friends, but she didn't. Charlie interrupted Princess Skystar and said, whoa, wait a minute. I think I know what's going on. Your mom is only forcing you to get married because she believes your behavior is crazy. No offense. But from your point of view, you were only trying to help her believe you saw my grandfather and help her accept for who you are and what you want to do in your life. Princess Skystar looked happily surprised. She said, "That's right! She doesn't see it, but I was trying to help her. Were you were you trying to help your mom, Charlie?" Charlie said, "Yes, but I didn't know until now. My mom was always busy wanting the my mom was always busy wanting the island because she's the mayor. She never supported me. She never had time with me when I was a teenager. She believed she believes my behavior is rude and crazy, which is true. That's why she wanted to put me in a care home before Celestia and Luna took me in their care. But all I was trying to do is help her understand that my dreams are very important to me and help her accept my autism is what makes me me is what makes me me is what makes me who I am and be. My dad knows that, but he never told me." Skystar said, "So we both trying to help our moms see and understand our childhood. Our dads did, but well, at least you have a dad." Charlie noticed Princess Skystar looked sad, and he placed his white hand on her white cheek. Charlie said, "No, no, don't think, no, no, don't think about that again. We've been living in a vicious circle because our moms don't understand us, even when they said they do. But we broke free because we found each other. Now it's our turn to help them get out from their vicious circle. Then they'll see what's important to us." Princess Skystar smiled at Charlie, and they both sang "Childhood," theme of Free Willy 2 by Michael Jackson. Musical sequence. Area Izzy Moonbow's house. The next morning, Charlie and Princess Skystar were sleeping peacefully together on the carpet. Princess Skystar woke up and yawned softly. When she looked at Charlie, she was surprised when she saw him in his human form. Skystar said, Charlie? Charlie, wake up!" Charlie woke up and smiled at Princess Skystar and said, "Morning, Skystar." Charlie noticed that Princess Skystar looked surprised. He said, "What's wrong?" Skystar said, "Charlie, you look like you were before." Charlie looked confused and said, "What are you talking about?" Charlie walked up to the mirror and saw his reflection. He looked shocked when he saw he was in, when he saw he was human again and screamed, "Ah!" Malcolm, Sunnystar Scout, and her friends woke up by Charlie's screaming. Tempest forced the front door open. She said, "What's going on?" Tempest Grubber, and Princess Luna saw Charlie in his human form. Tempest said, "Charlie, what happened to you?" Grubber said, "Where are your wings? Your horn?" Grubber said, "Where are your wings? Your horn? And your pony ears?" Charlie started to panic and said, "I don't know. I just went to sleep with Skystar last night and I woke up like this. My powers are gone. They just disappeared." Princess Luna walked up to Charlie and calmed him down. She said, "Charlie, it's okay. It's just your last pout of the Humacorn." Charlie looked confused and said, "Wait, my last what?" Don't worry, I'll finish it, everyone. Princess Luna explained to Charlie. She said, "You just witnessed your power of the transformation harmony. It allows you to change into any creature, human, Humacorn, alicorn, everything." Charlie looked calm and said, "Okay, let's see if I can change back into a Humacorn. How do I do that?" Luna said, "You just need to clear your mind and think Humacorn." Charlie said, "Okay, I'll try." Charlie closed his eyes, cleared his mind, and magically changed back into a Humacorn. Charlie opened his eyes, looked at his Pegasus wings touched his horn and his pony ears. Charlie felt relief and said, "Phew, thank goodness. So Luna, if I want to be human, I have to think human, right?" Luna said, "That's right." And Charlie said, "Well, at least I know what to do." Princess Skystar hugged Charlie happily and said, "Oh, Charlie!" Malcolm looked impressed. Malcolm looked impressed and said, "So my son is a shapeshifter." Sunny Star Scout was thinking. She said, This does look familiar." His trailblazer stood next to Sunny Star. Sunny Star Scout was thinking and said, this does look familiar." His trailblazer stood next to Sunny Star Scout. He said, "Sunny, didn't that happen to you before?" Sunny said, "What do you mean?" Izzy said, "You changed into an alicorn, then an earth pony, and an alicorn again, like all the time?" Sunny Star Scout looked surprised and said, "You're right, Izzy. I did. All the adventures we have, I must have forgot that I choose to stay as a alicorn. Wait, if Luna said I have awakened all of my powers of a Humacorn, let's see what else this transformation can do to me." Sunny Star Scout closed her eyes and magically transformed into a human. Everyone gasped in amusement while Sunny Star Scout opened her eyes and saw her human hands and legs. She looked happy and said, "I'm human! I changed into human!" Charlie said, "Is this your first time?" Sunny said, "Yes! I have human hands, human legs, and a human face! This is amazing!" Sunny Star Scout magically transformed into a Humacorn. She seized her Pegasus wings and felt her horn and pony ears. She said excitedly, "Now I'm a Humacorn! This is better than amazing! It's awesome!" Luna said, That's your true form, Sunny. Being a Humacorn will be hard at first, but soon you will adjust and learn how to use it to help every pony who needs you." Princess Luna smiled and said, "But I'm sure you already knew that." Sunny said, "I did." Hitch said, "Sunny, don't you think you should change back into an alicorn?" Sunny Star Scout looked confused and said, "Why?" Izzy said, "Because if Pip and Zip see shit like this, they won't believe it's you." Sunny Star Scout realized what Hitch, Trailblazer, and Izzy Moonbar meant. She said, "Oh yeah, you're right." Sunny Star Scout magically changed back into an alicorn and said, "Yeah, that's better." Tempest Shell smiled and said, At least you'll surprise them when we get to Separate Heights." Malcolm said, "Oh, speaking of surprises." Malcolm took out a hat from his rucksack and showed it to Charlie and said, "Charlie boy, happy birthday." Charlie looked surprised when he saw the hat his dad gave him. Charlie said, "Is that Michael Jackson's hat from Smooth Criminal?" Malcolm nodded his head and said, "It was hard to find, but I managed to save it for you." Charlie said, "Thanks, Dad, but I don't think it would fit in my unicorn. Thanks, Dad, but I don't think it would fit if my unicorn horn is in the way. Unicorn horn is in the way." Charlie had an idea and magically changed back into a human. Then he put his hat on his head and posed like Michael Jackson. Everyone looked amazed. Hitch said, "Wow, Charlie, that hat does look cool on you." Izzy said, "Yeah, you." Izzy said, "Yeah, you're Michael Jackson's new moonwalker." Grubber said, "What about the equestrian moonwalker?" Charlie liked Grubber's idea and said, "That's a great idea, Grubber. Charlie Carvette Equestrian, is not just the new Humacorn, but Michael Jackson's living legacy, the equestrian moonwalker." Princess Skystar was blushing. Princess Skystar was blushing and said, "Oh, Charlie, that title does suit you." Charlie said, "Thank you, Skystar, but I think I should stay in my human form for a while, and I use the Humacorn form for emergencies." Everyone agreed with Charlie, while Tempest Shell walked up to her friends and said, "Well, since every pony and human are up, if we leave now, we should get to Separate Heights by lunchtime." Everybody agreed with Tempest Shadow. In the forest, Charlie, his family and friends were about to leave Bridlewood except Princess Luna. Charlie said, "So you're going to stay in Bridlewood?" Luna said, "Yes, every pony here needs me. Yes, every pony here needs me." Izzy Moonbow looked worried. She said, "But when we get to Separate Heights, who's going to make a giant..." Sorry, Izzy said, "But when we get to Separate Heights, who's going to make a giant pink bubble to protect it?" Luna said, "Don't worry, Izzy. A third alicorn full of love will be waiting for you there. Once you see her, she'll protect Separate Heights." Everybody except Charlie looked confused. He said, "A third alicorn?" Sonny said, "Full of love? Charlie, who's she talking about?" Charlie said, "It's all right, Sonny. We'll find out when we get there." Princess Luna walked up to Charlie. Luna said, "Charlie, you're a very brave human. But remember, the spirit of the Humacorn will always flow within you. It will guide you and help the ones you love, including your friends and family." Charlie smiled and said, "Luna, you and Celestia became my friends when I first met you. But you've become part of my family, and I always have it wherever I go. And I'll never forget it." Luna smiled in tears and said, "Oh, Charlie." Charlie and Princess Luna embraced each other. She said, Luna said, "I'll see you in your dreams." And Charlie said, "I believe you." Charlie said, "I believe you. Goodbye, Luna." Luna said, "Goodbye, Charlie, and happy birthday." Charlie said, "Thanks." Charlie let go of Princess Luna, then he and his friends and family went through the bubble shield. Princess Luna smiled as she saw Charlie and her friends leave Bridlewood. She said, Luna says, "Farewell." Location, Separate Heights. Area, the Royal Palace. Queen Haven was walking in the hall with her daughters, Pip Petals and Sip Storm. Pip Petals looked surprised while she was watching a video of Charlie singing and dancing in Maritime Bay from her smartphone. Pip said, Wow, this mysterious creature sings and dances like an angel, and he's so handsome." Zipstone watched the video as well. She said, "I never seen a creature walk backwards like that before. It's like he's walking on the moon." Pip said, "Mom, some Pony Maritime Bay filmed this creature, and this video has a lot of viewers, likes, and good comments." Queen Haven didn't look too happy and said, "That's nice, honey, but your mom's a bit busy right now." Zipstone looked worried. She said, "Are you alright, Mom? You sound so weird." Queen Haven said, "And why would you ask me that?" Zip said, "I'm just saying you look a little tired." Queen Haven pretended to yawn. You're right, Zippy. Your mom..." Queen Haven pretended to yawn. Queen Haven pretended to yawn. "You're right, Zippy. Your mom..." Sorry. No, Queen Haven pretended to yawn. Queen Haven pretended to yawn. "You're right, Zippy. Mom is a bit tired. I need to get some rest. Now leave me be and never disturb me." After Queen Haven went to her room and closed the door, Pip Petals and Zipstorm looked confused. Pip said, "Zippy? Mom never calls you that." Zipstorm was thinking and said, Yeah, something's really off." Area, Queen Haven's bedroom. Queen Haven looked at herself in the mirror and smiled evilly. She said, "Now the real queen is out of the way." Queen Haven magically revealed herself to be Queen Chrysalis. Chrysalis said, "I'm the new ruler of Separate Heights. My life is perfect when Twilight and her friends are gone. Until the Storm Queen reported me that the Humacorn's grandson is here in Equestria. But with my new magic that she gave me, I'm better than I was before. When I take Charlie's love, he won't just feel weak, he will be destroyed. And all the powers of the Humacorn will be mine!" Subtext, to be continued. End of volume 1. Coming soon, volume 2. That's it. That's the end of My Little Pony. Sorry. Let me say again. That's it. That's the end of My Little Pony: The Legend of the Humacorn, Volume 1. 4 parts and 4 videos I've done. I hope you all enjoy when you watch it. I'm already working on Volume 2, but it's going to take a long time for me to finish. So it will be on YouTube live stream very, very soon. So be patient and try to understand people's autism and learn how to deal with it and let them do what they want if they want to. And let's see. Oh, yes. The reason why I choose all the songs by Michael Jackson, because I love his music. And when I made my character, Charlie Equestrian, as a Equestrian Moonwalker, it's just like he's doing the same things like Michael Jackson did. But just the singing and the dancing. That's all. And I hope you enjoy it. This is Charlie McAvoy signing up with these words. Fantasy is my reality. So I'll see you soon. And remember, My Little Pony is the best show I've ever seen and the best movies. Never, ever, ever stop watching My Little Pony, because it will help you embrace your friendship and magic and family. Goodbye, and see you soon for Volume 2, which is coming soon. Oh, by the way, autism is also magic. You just need to embrace it in the way they wanted you to, if you can. So, goodbye, and see you soon again.